Welcome to Forex.Today, the YouTube community of approximately 20,000 foreign exchange traders. Let me tell you, that's huge because this is a niche market. That's just amazing to me. So thank you for being part of this community and making the Forex world a little better every single day. With that being said, we gather here today to conduct technical and fundamental analysis to put together trade plans. Even so, trading Forex is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, not necessarily indicative of future results. Please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, never risk money you cannot afford to lose. So my name is Wayne. I'm a currency trader like you. I've been doing this a long time. I've done a few things right and a lot of things incorrectly, and I've learned along the way. So let me know how I can help. Ask questions, get involved, treat each other with dignity and respect. Joking is fine, but this is our profession. You are in my office, so be as professional as possible. So again, ask about technical or fundamental analysis, maybe even trader psychology. There's a lot of things I'm working on, so I can share. In the description below the video, there are links to resources, a link to free training courses, a link to premium trading courses, a link to tradersway.com, which is the foreign exchange broker that I've recommended for close to 10 years. Reason being, they earned my loyalty and respect by the way that they act and performed, in particular on a day when the market was in unbelievable duress. Very large brokers went out of business, and Traders Way was just perfectly fine. Just perfectly fine. Above that, fast execution speed, good. Narrow spreads, good. Right? Huge swaps, good. I was comparing brokers last night on trading oil, and one broker was trading at 12, a spread of, comparison to 12 pips, 12 cents. And Traders Way at the exact same moment was like 3 cents. 12 versus 3. I mean, look, the spread at Traders Way is just amazing. So anyways, all the links to all those resources, there's a link to my book on Amazon.com. If that's your modality, I did that. So there you go. But bottom line, I'm here to help. Let me know how I can serve. I consider myself a servant leader in this relationship. So again, let me know what you need, and I will do my best to help. Going through the charts here, some yen strength and some dollar strength. Ho, 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 ho. Good. Target is down almost 25% today. I think 22, 23%. Target, yeah. Which is fine. I don't really like Target anyways. But whatever. They employ a lot of people. So anyway, so maybe the stock market down today. So if you want to look at it, like yesterday we had retail sales, but yesterday we had Walmart reporting. Today we had Target. So when you combine Walmart and Target, they got to be at least 50% of the entire retail market, plus the government report. So it shows that there's inflation and retailers are having trouble passing on those costs to consumers. Okay. And the data's murky, and I find it misreported quite a bit in the media because they'll say, well, look, prices are up because of inflation, and margins are down at retailers because they're trying to eat some of the cost, but they're not going to be able to. But then they say, but, it seems like the consumer, the consumers are still healthy and they're still buying. Well, that's tricky because if prices are up 15%, even if the number of units being sold is down a little bit, it's going to look like sales are up because sales are measured in quantity of nominal dollars. And so when there's inflation and prices are going up, those are more dollars. And so it's a little bit tricky because the inflation increases, it inflates the numbers. Okay, so if prices are up 15%, but sales are actually down 10%, it'll still show a positive number. You know what I mean? So anyway, so it's a little tricky. And right now the media is like, well, everything looks bad except it seems like consumers are buying. Well, it's a little tricky when you're measuring that in dollar terms and the number of dollars needed are up. So also some prices are sticky. That's why consumer discretionary is down. But for example, you might not like it, but you're going to put gas in your vehicle irregardless of the price. Yes, okay, maybe prices double and then double again. And you say, well, maybe I do want a Prius. Maybe I will trade in my monster truck. I live in Georgia, in the United States of America. And let me tell you, there's some big trucks. I saw some guy trying to check his oil. And he opened the hood of his, I think it was a Chevy Silverado. And he couldn't see inside the engine bay. So he had to walk around and climb up on the tire and look inside because the engine bay was like 5.5 feet off the ground. Not abnormal in Georgia. So anyways, what's it going to take for that guy to get a Prius? I got your Tesla right here, huh? It's not really a Georgia accent, but bless his heart. So anyways, moving back on to this, yens are up. Okay, yen is up. Dollar is recovered a little bit from yesterday. Swissy's still weak. So I'm in the I'm a buyer of dollars still. I'm a buyer of yen still. And yet I've been, as of yesterday in the day trading group, I presented to the team that maybe they should consider selling Swiss franc. Now I look like a freaking genius. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. I do want to see a recovery in Kitty Cat. I do want to see a recovery in Aussie. Pound. Yeah, pound's in trouble, but there's going to be a tug of war with pound, I think, for a while. Hey, Theta, morning. So let's just start with the Swissies. Okay, so CAD Swissy, you can see I have climbing. Okay, right? You got the higher high, trying to find a higher low, kicking off the 5 EMA, the daily 5 EMA last night. Cool beans. Okay, cool beans. Unfortunately, we've already hit the target for the month, but maybe it's going to be an unusual month. Who knows? Okay, so that's good. Aussie Swiss franc is another one. Not the greatest in the world, not great, but if you zoom in a little bit closer and ignore the fact that we're kind of rangy, you do have support. Okay, this is a 4H, so the higher high, higher low scenario. Okay, so that's good. Now, it'll be a month before we get Shanghai fully open, probably more than that for normalizing Beijing and some of the other cities. 4 days in a row without new COVID cases in Shanghai, which is pretty amazing because there's more people in Shanghai than California, the state. If you add up San Diego, Los Angeles, the San Francisco Bay Area, and then everybody else, Sacramento, throw everybody else in there. Shout out to Modesto, whoop, Stanislaus County. Throw all that in there, and guess what? There's still more people in the city of Shanghai. Pretty amazing. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Theta. Okay. So anyways, yeah. So if it slowly opens, that'll be good for the Aussie. And yeah, anyways. And this one you can see slice and dice, slice and dice, slice and dice. Is it a bottom? Is it a bottom? Is it a bottom? Not really bullish on pound. And you can see it's relative to some of the other pairs is led to its mediocrity. Okay. But notice that we do have a bottom printed down here. Cool. Okay. Pound might be in trouble though. And here we are. Here he is. Breach of the trend. And maybe buyers of dips now. Kiwi is lagging some of the other currencies. Okay. Meaning, yes, it's up, but it's up less relative to, let's say, Aussie and CAD and some of the others. Maybe even Euro. But nonetheless, what do you think? Is this climbing? If you're reading this chart properly, your target is 64. Okay. So that leaves you a lot to do over the next week, week and a half or something like that. So you drive into a small time frame and you get your trades on. You're a bit late here, so showing up now is a little silly. But you had an opportunity earlier, which means you might have an opportunity later with a breach, pullback, and maybe a trade for next week. How you guys doing? Everything okay? Rolling in here, rolling. Might be an interesting change in direction. We're held up on my line. My line, my lady. Okay, so what are you going to do? You have to decide if you're going to play it with price action. Okay, you might be thinking some version of this. What do you stink? Smell like a plan? Okay. Hey. Or, of course, if you're a bull, you're going to do the exact opposite. Kind of catch it around 105 and drive it up to 106. Probably not 107. You do you. Okay. This is the one I've been planning out for days. Okay. And close, huh? Close. Not quite yet, but close. Want this 21 to come down a little bit. Okay, same thing. This one close but not ready. Maybe a little higher before I sell it. Currently it smells like 64 and we're at 63 and a half. Okay, this is weekly on your piggy. Good little bounce there. If you're into it, man, grabbing a pullback. If you're a bull, grabbing this pullback is actually kind of interesting. Okay. Only because if you get it right, I would hold it for a very long time. I just don't know if it's, are we there yet? Is that how we're trading the pound? Like, really? But that's what it is. It is what it is. Okay, US dollar has weakened and the Canadian dollar has strengthened, but I'm at a point where you can't sell, and if you buy, it's a counter trend. You know, I don't know. So we're way down here, and it's one of these things. I want this to come down, meaning I want the Canadian dollar strengthened, but maybe not relative to the US dollar. Okay. We need the Fed to go from hawkish to less hawkish to maybe neutral. We're probably a year off from that. Right, the stock market's probably going to be down today with Target reporting so bad. Like I said, the Target stock is down. Let me get this Target stock price. Okay, that is not the actual price, I don't think. Okay, it was 214. How do I get better? Okay, look, it was 215. Now it's 163, down 24%. Wow. Is that going to bring down the stock market today? Maybe. And if it does, dollar will strengthen. Yen will strengthen. Look at that. It was 270. Now it's 160. Hey now. So anyways, there you go, eh? So maybe some dollar strength. That's why I don't really want to do this one. But CAD Swissy, like I had mentioned last night, if we go back to the Swissies, do I have it on this one? Yeah, this one. Okay, that was my play, right? Right now, if I want to buy CAD, I don't want to buy it versus dollar. I don't want to buy it versus yen, but I'll buy it versus Swissy. Shh, don't tell anyone. Take a look at commodities. Okay, my WTI. Last night, I was trying to trade this before bed, and I bought it here and got knocked out there. It went up, and then came out, and I was out. London open, pull back, and that's a good time to be trading. So I'd keep my eyes on this prize. Cool. Nice. Okay. What can we learn from Bitcoin? The market is neutral. Market is sideways. Not risk on, not risk off. Not playing the psych levels. So we're just toit. Okay. And you're like, Wayne, you got so many lines here. Well, don't look at all the lines. Analyze it, dude. Think about it. Don't stare at the lines. Okay. I have this set as a bottom and I have this set as a top. No other lines matter. Anyone can see, no other lines matter to me. But Wayne, this ups and downs, just portfolio, just no, this is fundamentals. Fundamentals, man. There's nothing strange going on. So again, where do I go? I need to just pull up. I guess I can just do that, guys. So like with Target, right? Let me move this back to that. Let's go to that color. Let me clear it out. So with Target, the value of Target, okay, the present value of Target is equal to, we always say the future, right? Future value value of cash flows over 1 plus I to the n, right? To the n. Okay. And then the next one is the future value of cash flows, 1 plus I to the n plus 1. Okay. So you could see what's happened is I has gone up. Okay. This is a level of inflation, for example, which, okay. So if I goes up, this goes down. Okay. And now what we found out is Target has revised their financial statements from 3 months ago to say because I has gone up and right, what's happened is their profit margins have fallen. So you have to then, well, I guess I could have done this differently. Right now the future value of their cash flows, or the amount of their cash flows in the future, has fallen, which then pushes the valuation down more. So higher inflation, lower cash flow. Both have the same effect. Now there's double effects. So, right, so theta's like, so these ups and downs, well, I don't know what you mean by the ups and downs, but just portfolio adjustment or go for liquidity. Well, the value of those companies have fallen. The value of the market in general would have fallen. And are there ebbs and flows as far as the price has fallen enough for other people to buy, and has the price fallen enough for others to get out? So some people own Target at 250. So at what point do they bail if it's now worth 160 bucks? They held on. And then what about people that a year ago wanted to buy Target at 180? Will they buy it at 150? When is this pain and when is this opportunity worth it, right? Two different groups of people, right? So that's what comes from. Oh, thank you, Jimmy. Okay. So yeah, is it people going to liquidity? Well, that's what taking a loss means. They had it, somebody owned Target at 250. They might still own it. They're going to wake up this morning and go, holy crap, I can't take it. So they liquidate. They're going for liquidity, which is more selling. So Target falls down to 150 today. Somebody else is like, oh, snap, I want to buy that. Because they're going to hold it for 10 or 15 years. So they buy it at 150. But remember, 3 years ago, it was a $75 stock. So even at 150, you're like, dude, this can fall a lot further. And I went into a target not long ago, and my complaint always, not always, but one of my major complaints is that you walk in and nothing's changed. It's the same clothes. But this time I'm like, I wonder if they have, I wanted to look at their cheap shoes. Because I was at a Walmart maybe a couple of months ago, and I went in and I looked at like what kind of shoes do they sell, and they had some pretty good work boots, but the other stuff was really garbage. But anyways, I want to look at it and how trendy is it and how not trendy is it. Just I'm very interested as an economist. So anyway, so I go to Target and I walk into the shoe area and I'm like, it's all women's and kids shoes. Where's all the men's stuff? I'm pretty sure there used to be like at least one aisle. No. They threw it over in the corner in the men's clothing area. And you get there and all the boxes are open and it's all thrown together. Like it looked like a garbage dump. I'm not even joking. I'm like, what is all this? And there was about 3 different types of shoes you could buy. And I'm like, this is weird. Like the place is weird. And the other things that bug me is that, remember when they got hacked and like 100 million people got their credit card numbers taken by Russian hackers or Chinese hackers or Iranian hackers or whoever the hackers were? You guys remember that? And they didn't report it? I'm like, thumbs down for the management. And then they rolled out Target in Canada. And they failed. I'm like, how do you fail at rolling out Target in Canada? How do you fail that? So I'm just like, I've never liked the management. Anyway, so maybe Target's worth $50 and it's still at 150. So make sure you want to own it. Make sure you're not buying price. How can you not roll out Target in Canada? How do you fail that? Anyways, so I don't plan on going to a Target. You know what I did though? I bought steak. I think for the first time at a Target. So I bought steak and a pizza and sweet potatoes. Obviously pizza for kids, steak and sweet potatoes for mom and dad. But anyways, interesting store. Again, I walked through the electronics department and they had like weird old cameras that nobody wants. And I don't know, the place is weird. I went into the sporting goods stores. Have you guys seen the price of weights? Like you want to buy a 20-pound barbell and it's like $50. I'm like, what is this made out of? What the heck? Holy smokes. So I put that down. I'm like, forget that. I'm not going to Target and paying $50 for one 20-pound dumbbell. It was just stuff. It's just an interesting, odd place, and I could see how its performance is mediocre. Made in the USA, I doubt that. But, again, I think the management layer, they sit around in their office and they're like, Walmart's beating us. What should we do? I don't know. What's Walmart doing? I don't know. They opened up grocery stores. Well, we should do grocery stores too. That sounds really good. Oh my God. I think a management should say, all right, everybody, let's have a meeting. Let's find 5 different ways to suck less. That would be a good start. Anyways, let's go take a look at the yens. Okay. And I have yens coming down last night, and we're at the right price in a reasonable time. So you'll have to take a look at some of these and see what you want to do. Okay, this one coming around, caught on the 21, maybe an up and then a down. Kiwi, Once again, role reversal. Okay. Caught between the moving averages. Now, if you're not my day trading group, then you're like, well, wait. Well, let me just tell you, for days, right? Okay, I got out there. I made that declaration. Even when we were here, I'm like, I got out and I'm waiting. Okay. But the biggest thing is for the last several days, I'm like, I want to short this, but not now. I want to short this, but not now. I want to short this, but not now. But this is a key area. So now after 3 days of basically not trading, now it might be game on this way. It might be. But the thing is now it requires some action, right? Wait. Maybe now. Okay. So you have to understand that there's 3 days of waiting. But we all know patience and discipline is required. And maybe that's my example. So we were here and now we're here. Okay. Whoa. Okay. And maybe same thing here. So that's why, remember, I want to buy CAD. I don't want to sell CAD. So, right. So being long CAD Swissy is cool. Being long CAD Yen is not. And the underlying rationale are fundamentals. Whoop. Okay. Yeah, that used to bug me, Andrew. I find it less here now, maybe just because the Walmarts are so big, but there was a time for sure, Andrew, that I'd walk into a Walmart and the smell bothered me, like it would burn my eyes. You know, I know it sounds pissy, right? Like, you remember that guy that did the Super Size Me documentary? And he's like, I'm going to eat a Big Mac and French fries. And he's out in the car eating his first one, and it was so terrible he threw up. I'm like, dude. Right, dude. You can't eat a Big Mac and French fries. I get it. It's not good for you. I get it. But if that makes you vomit, you're a little sensitive compared to a normal person. And so it sounds prissy to me. Just, you know, when I say I used to walk into a Walmart and 20 minutes later I got a headache from and it was the smell of plastics. But it was true. I don't recall that happening, so maybe recently. But I find Walmart more fascinating. I guess they're just bigger and the inventory changes more. And there's just more people in a Walmart too. When I walk into a Target, what is there, 20 people in the store? And you go to a Walmart and there's probably 300 people at any given time. It's just weird. And I like people watching. And Georgia's fun for people watching when you're not from Georgia. But yeah, like, I remember the last time I was in Walmart, I'm walking down the aisle and one family had bumped into the other family and they're all just standing talking in a group of like 6. And they're just standing first of all, in the aisle. I'm like, hello? You know, between the Bud Light and the Doritos, they're standing in that kind of aisle. And it was funny to me. I'm not sure why. I'm like, they were like camping out, making a day of it. Like they were all just going to stand there and talk for an hour in the aisle of the Walmart. Right? Just, to me, it was just simple. Like if I had to go in there, I'm in and out. Now, my wife would laugh at me because I'm never like that, because I like to explore and analyze, and why do they put this and why do they do that and where does this supply chain come from? But nonetheless, if I was a normal person, I'd just be in and out. Like, give me my Bud Light, my Doritos. Oh, good, looky here, it's in the aisle. Boom, self checkout. Boom, I'm out of here, right? But it's just interesting to me, like a whole, 6, 7, 8 people standing around talking for an hour and a half, like it's the it's the event of the day. So anyways, the other interesting thing, and if you're not American, maybe you don't know this, but I've been to plenty of small towns throughout the South. I've driven all throughout the South. And I like taking back roads, right? All that kind of stuff. So I've been to tiny, tiny little towns in Georgia and Florida and Tennessee and Alabama. And they all have Walmarts. And it's really interesting. A town of like 3,000 people has a super Walmart. And it's just kind of fascinating to see how it all works. I mean, it's just a really interesting business model that the Walmart family has pulled off over the decades to buy the cheapest land possible. And even if it's outside a little city of 3, 4, 5, 10,000 people, that you have to drive 2 miles out of the town. And it's not even on like the big highway. It's like a quarter mile off the big highway. Like they go, because it'll be even cheaper. And so like, it's not convenient to get to. Nobody really likes it, I don't think. I'm not sure. But then it's busy as heck. And they have these all over America. It's just really amazing. So when I say yesterday we had retail sales measured by the government. And then you got Walmart. Dude, Walmart's probably better and more accurate. Right? Looking at the Walmart data, it's probably more accurate than government statistics. Because, government works is mediocre at best. But like Walmart reporting, financial reporting and controls and analysis, they know everything. Average cart size, the ebb and flow of people shopping, per month, per week, per day, per hour. They know like everything. They're going to say, oh, well, this holiday is coming up, so we got to have all this stuff out because this is going to sell. Like there's probably no better reporting than Walmart. And if something changes in Walmart sales and profitability, it's probably a better reporting statistic than anything the government can do. It's just kind of interesting to think of it that way. And a non-American probably wouldn't quite understand that. But again, drive across America, find any definition of middle of nowhere, go to middle of nowhere America. There's a Walmart, a big one. Now, take that aggregate of, 20,000 stores, whatever the number is, and they know everything about the consumer. Ernest, what's up, buddy? So anyways, that's it. I think I'm done. I want to go trade. Market's going to open soon. Is there anything else I can cover? David, I don't trade USD yen. I because I expect both of them to be strong. So you'll say, well, that's ridiculous. Look at it. Well, I understand, but I don't trade by looks. Obviously. I trade by fundamentals, and there's interesting dynamics that they both share. Not perfectly, of course, but I wouldn't trade those two. Like, I gave some advice to somebody, we'll just put it that way, about Aussie CAD. And they were in a position on Aussie CAD, some sort of whatever, we don't need to get into it, but they were exposed to it. And they're like, we need this to go up. And I analyzed it, and I'm like, no, it's going to come down. And it did. And so then they come back a month and a half later or whatever it is, and they're like, it fell. You should have traded it. And I'm like, why? I wouldn't have traded that. But you predicted it was going to fall. Yeah, but I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't trade a commodity versus a commodity. I mean, I could have, and I did predict it, but there's still more than that. Right? So anyways, I don't know. Maybe I'm a fool on that one. But the way it is over long periods of time, the cross currents of which commodity currency is going to be strong or weak relative to the other commodity currency. It's like if you swim in waters with cross currents, you might not drown today, but the probability of you drowning is significantly higher than if you swam somewhere else. So it doesn't matter where you're like, well, I can swim over there and I'll be 100% safe, or I can swim here and there's only a 20% chance of me drowning. I'm like, well, there's a 100% chance of me not drowning over there, so I'm just going to go over there. Okay, I understand 80% chance I won't drown, but there's a 20% chance I will, and I just don't like that. Okay? Okay? David said short pound Swissy and short gold. Well, yeah, okay. I just explained that I'm selling Swiss franc. So, and you're buying Swiss franc. So anyways, I have no comment for that. Anywho, I come here every day when I'm excited to trade, when I'm not excited to trade, when I'm full of energy, when I'm exhausted, physically and emotionally. I come here when I'm doing well as a trader. I show up every day when I'm not doing well as a trader. When my psychology is strong, when my psychology is weak. When I'm physically strong, when I'm physically weak. If I'm sick, I'm here every day. If there's a tornado, earthquake, I'm here. I've coached through a class 10 typhoon in which vehicles were being blown over by wind. I've coached through Delhi Belly. Have you ever done that? I laid on the floor with my mouse because I wasn't physically strong enough to sit in a chair. So I laid on the floor and I did my live stream. Although that was so long ago, there were no such things as live streams. The reason I bring this up is you're important to me. And I try to be here every day and present my true, authentic self. Sometimes I'm bitchy, sometimes I'm funny, sometimes these drag on for hours because I'm on a soapbox. Sometimes it's just quick and dirty, done fast, moveon.com. But it's real. And I think you can see that I go through some of the, physical and emotional swings that you do. And it's okay. And it's normal. And 20 years from now, maybe the peaks and valleys will be smaller, so it's less manic depressive. But I show up every day as a professional with my lunchbox in my hand and my cup of coffee. I show up on time. Not very often. Today I start the webinar on time and I was 10 minutes late. But it's real. Okay? And the one, there are many things that are consistent in all of those inconsistencies. The methodology is the same. The attitude is the same. Treating Forex as a business is the same. Planning your trades in advance and focusing on that are the same. Keeping your losses small, but letting your winners run. All of that is the same. And I try to bring that same message to you every day and show you how patience and discipline are something that are skills that you can acquire and develop and refine. And the secret sauce here is to stick with this and be consistent for years and years and years and years and years. You can do that. And I hope that I show you every day that you can. And that then you pick up the baton from there and you run with it. Steve Jobs did a commencement speech a few years ago, before he died, obviously. I think it was to Stanford. And he was talking about like three things. Doing what you want to do, right? Creating your own path, right? And then there was some sort of like work ethic. And then the last one had to do with death, but it tied into the work ethic. And I forget the quote and where he got it from. Maybe he didn't mention it. But this idea, he says, in that speech, and this one part of it stuck with me. He said, most people want to go to heaven, but nobody's willing to die for it. And it's this idea, if you translate that, instead of heaven, you think, okay, everyone would like to become a successful Forex trader, have a private jet, have a giant house, drive your fancy cars, and be surrounded with people far more beautiful than you. It seems to be the dream. A lot of people come to Forex for this dream. It's pitched a lot. That's the dream. That's the life, the lifestyle of a Forex trader. That's the heaven that people want. And I like that quote where you're like, everyone, most people want to go to heaven, but very few are willing to die for it. Well, the die for it idea is that work ethic of, can you earn the dream? And the funny thing is, the dream is just a dream. Because what I find is I'm up in the middle of the night trading. I find that it's Friday night. The weekend is here. My wife wants to party and I want to like crash on the couch because I'm so freaking exhausted from working so hard. I'm just like, it's 8 o'clock on a Friday and I'm crashing, crashing, snoring on the couch because I'm so freaking exhausted. Living the life, whoop, whoop, I could be on my giant yacht with girls in bikinis surrounding me and I'm just pouring champagne everywhere, right? But that's not reality. But my kids are going to go to college and stay off drugs, which is great, right? I can spend time with my family, and it's Friday night, and I'm too exhausted to even stand up. What do you want to do? I need some sleep. Okay, like that's the reality, but that's the true lifestyle. But there's a lot of rewards that come with that maybe are not, right? Maybe not the dream that's being sold to you, but to be an independent business owner, controlling your own life is maybe not the dream, but the reality that you seek. But you still, like Steve Jobs had said, are you willing to die for it? Maybe that's the level of commitment it requires, but I know you got that. Okay? You can't get my chart templates right now, Ernest, but I will be putting them up on FX Bootcamp. MetaQuotes, the owner of MetaTraders, sued me. And I think they're stupid, by the way, MetaQuotes, because I was promoting the use of their software. and they didn't like it. So, hey, I had to take it down, which I did. And I think everyone's going to go over and use TradingView instead. And they don't see that. And I think about how old of a business model they are, and how old of a management team they must be, and how old-fashioned their thought process is. To say, hey man, this guy's promoting our software, we should shut that shit down. Just like, what planet are they from? But you know what? Yeah. So anyways, when you think about it, guys, I was promoting the chart templates.